Welcome to the 60 Plus Podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe. How are you today, Janet?
I'm great.
I'm going to stop asking that question.
No, you can ask that question, and thank you for asking. I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, good.
Uh,
So we got that out of the
we
way.
got that out of the way.
What's
All right.
next?
Well, that's the end of the 60 Plus Podcast. Thanks for tuning in today. What are we talking about today, Janet?
Okay, so today, in light of the fact that Valentine's Day is fast approaching, right? Buy your candy early. We are
Is candy still an appropriate Valentine's Day gift?
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know.
Well, as long as it's dark chocolate, I'm all in.
All right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Why wouldn't it be? It's candy.
I don't know if
Like
we're trying
maybe
to...
not hard candy at our age. You don't want to break teeth
Gummy
or
worms?
anything.
Gummy worms are good Valentine's Day.
Gummy worms?
Yeah, you've never had gummy worms?
If you're talking about Valentine's Day, it should be gummy hearts.
Well, I was going to say that.
I don't know if they make gummy hearts, do they?
I bet gummy worms have hearts.
Worms don't have hearts.
They don't?
No.
How does the blood pump through the wormy body?
Do they have hearts?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right, we're
This
way
is
off track.
Totally off subject. We haven't even talked about what the subject
What
is.
are we talking about today,
Gosh, I
Janet?
can't even get past the fact that Valentine's Day is on the horizon. We are talking about being single at 60.
Single at 60.
Why are we talking about this? Well,
Valentine's Day is coming.
we're also looking at some of the statistics about this age group
The
and
60 plus age group.
the 60 plus age group. What we found was that the percentage of U.S. adults who are single in our age group is 28% and above.
Not an insignificant number of people.
No, and after 65, it's 36%. Now, I guess some of that's from divorce, right? The whole gray divorce thing.
Those people are guys that gave gummy worms on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. They didn't get the message
Nope.
that it's dark chocolate only. Yeah, so some of it's becoming a widow.
hmm
And the other thing that was interesting was looking at singles who are looking or not looking to date. And so the percentages are different here as well. What's your guess? Percentage of people looking versus not looking who are single.
Looking for a partner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's about 50-50.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for every person that's looking, there's a person who's not looking.
Well, they shouldn't look at each other.
No. Yeah, that's not going to be a match. And then it also indicates that this percentage goes way down, actually, in terms of looking after 65. Goes down to 22%.
Among men and women?
Yeah, in total. In
Hmm.
total.
So it
Yeah.
goes from 50% to 22%.
Hmm.
Is that because
Don't know.
a quarter of the
Give
people
up?
found somebody?
No, these are singles looking versus not looking.
Okay.
So after 65, you're
Lose interest.
3 out of 4 are not looking.
I find that a little sad.
Maybe it isn't.
Well,
Maybe
it's fine for some
people are
people.
just have decided that being single is okay.
Who was our real talk with college professor?
Nancy,
Nancy.
she was like, "No,
No,
I'm not
done. I
doing
don't-
that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not
And
what
she was
I'm
fine
into."
with it. It wasn't like, oh, it's so
No,
no.
no,
She's
she
just like,
just
it's a
wanted her
decision.
little house by the lake and
Mhm.
just wanted to be live in peace and quiet and not
Their
doing.
dog.
Yep,
I do
yep,
pay
you're right.
attention during the episode sometimes.
Wow, memory, good. So what we want to talk about today or dig a little bit deeper into is this idea of when you're looking for love because of Valentine's Day coming up.
hmm
What are some of the challenges or considerations in doing that at this age?
Before we get to that, can we talk about why people are single when they get to that age?
Let's do that.
This is from the U.S. Census.
Mm-hmm.
59% of adults age 60 or older have been married once.
Mm-hmm.
Among those ages 60 to 69, it's 46% of men and 39% of women still married to the first and only person they married.
Yeah, and we want to talk about that too, because those are best practices of longevity and relationships, and maybe we can apply that to even some of these challenges that you're presented in when you're dating for the first
So is
time.
the first rule of that dark chocolate on Valentine's Day?
I wouldn't say that's a foundational ingredient.
Maybe
I
like
mean,
one
oh yeah, it's
A
like mutual respect and dark
dark chocolate.
chocolate.
There you go.
So easy.
People make things so complicated.
I
Just
know, just chocolate.
chocolate. Good chocolate.
Yes, quality, high quality chocolate.
hmm
Organic, please.
So the percentage of adults 55 to 64 who have ever divorced is about 43% for both sexes.
Okay.
Who have ever divorced. So they could have been married more than once. They could have been married
Right.
once.
So a large number of people in our age group understand divorce,
Oh, yeah.
have been through it. So there's some empathy there.
Among adults 15 or older, 19% of them are age 65 or older. And of that group, 71% of men and 69% of women are widowed. Which kind of makes sense. As you get older, you're going to have more widows.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's a lot of widowers.
I know you were told to be no math involved. And
I'm the one who loves statistics.
when
Remember?
when are you going to sing during this episode? We've talked about math.
Well, I haven't gotten a cue yet. When I get my cue, I will sing.
Okay.
Love is in the air.
Oh, that was the cue?
Yeah, I don't
Me-
know
me
why.
asking you to
it kind
sing?
of came to me.
Who sang that?
Oh, is it Barry White?
No.
It isn't? Quick.
No.
We need to know.
No.
Love is in the air.
Is that from the Love Boat?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. What is in the second line? I don't even know the second line.
I'm furiously typing away.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh,
And
no.
I don't know if something's
John Paul Young,
Hmm.
1978,
Mm.
among men and women 60 to 69 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage do you think have been married twice?
60 to 69,
Mm-hmm.
married twice,
Mm-hmm.
23%.
Did you look over my shoulder?
No,
It's 23%.
No.
It is.
Oh my God.
All right.
That's incredible.
And 3 times or more?
Oh, that's got to be lower, I would hope. Like maybe 10 or 11%.
10%. Wow, you nailed this.
Wow.
You
I
get
should
an
get
A.
a job at the boardwalk guessing weights and ages.
So this is interesting.
Yeah.
You get up to 70 years old or older. What percentage of men have been married twice?
I don't know. I'm not even going to guess this one.
Oh, 22%. It's just,
Oh.
it went down 1%.
Oh, that's okay.
And of women,
24%?
19%.
Oh, wait. I guess I went the wrong way. I don't know. Okay, so enough of these statistics.
This
Too
is,
many
we've
numbers
exceeded,
running
we've
around.
exceeded
Oh, wait, but there
Janet's
is
math.
one more. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about this older singles, right? This longer lifespan means that there's going to be a lot more older singles.
I
So
think
we have
so.
more years to maybe form a new relationship. And then because of all the surge in gray divorces, so there is a
What are those
larger pool of
Gray
old,
divorces?
yeah,
What are gray divorces?
people in our age group getting divorced. Some 38% of divorces today occur among couples over 50.
Okay. They've had enough.
So that means that for these people, late love offers a chance for happiness, right? And a connection that maybe they haven't had before.
And you get to hang
And-
out with your married friends again.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And also you get a chance to do things better because hopefully you've learned some lessons from your past relationships.
Dark chocolate, no gummy worms. Is a
But
theme.
it's not without its challenges,
Okay.
you know?
Of course. Well, any relationship is not without its challenges.
Right. But there's some special challenges for older couples because they have to fit romance into lives that are already filled with children, grandchildren, maybe work and their friends.
I didn't print it out, but I did notice an article that said something about expect baggage.
Yes, you read it in the Wall Street Journal because I've got it here in front of me.
I'm very well read.
But then there's a whole bunch of other questions. How do they learn about somebody else's history and share their own? Having whether divorce or
I have a simple answer to that question. I'm no relationship expert,
no,
so consult your own relationship expert. But
absolutely.
do
Don't
you
don't
learn-
listen to us.
I mean, please listen to us, but
Not in that way. Not with any credibility.
don't act according to what we say. No, how do you learn about somebody else's past? You ask.
But you're assuming that that person's ready to talk about it.
If they're not ready to talk about it, well, then just say, I'm not ready to talk about that.
Right. Okay.
When you get to 60 plus, are those barriers less?
I would think
you're
so.
more willing to
I
talk about
think
your
this is like
past.
I was talking about this acceptance, right? This level of acceptance. Hopefully, you have that towards yourself too. You don't really have anything to be embarrassed about necessarily, or
You might not.
we don't want to know, Jack. TMI. So,
Actually, a listener reached out to me and said, Joe, you're not being funny enough. So I decided I had to be
okay.
funnier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, but then if you're funny, then
You got to step it up then.
yeah, I'm gonna have to be even funnier. No,
It's not a competition.
Not a competition. Okay, so we can be funny.
Quick, what's 7 times 8?
56.
There we go. All right. Enough
Okay.
math for this episode.
All right. So some other challenges. If you've weathered divorce or a death of a spouse, can you risk loss again?
I think that's up to the individual.
Of course it is.
Certain amounts of
These are
time
just some
needs to
things
pass.
that, come to the surface.
Mhm.
And they have love without marriage. And will they live apart or together? Do they want to be retired or keep working? Will the other partner accept those decisions? What about health issues? Are you willing to be one another's caregivers? Will you share finances or keep them separate? So these are special considerations for people who are finding late romance and love.
Okay.
They also talk about for women who you've already juggled a career and brought up children and cared for a spouse, you might not want to get stuck in traditional gender roles again. And that you're looking for emotional and financial equality in
Go
partners
back to
that
the
can
gender
be
roles. I'm
friends
sorry.
and lovers.
Go back to the gender roles.
Yeah.
A lot of the reason for the gender roles has kind of gone by the wayside.
I don't know if this is true or not. I don't have the statistics to back it up, but I have heard
So
that
again, don't act according to what we say.
right.
Just
So men, in my observation, tend to hop from one relationship to another more quickly. And they are looking for somebody potentially to kind of fill that role again, somebody to cook for them, whatever, take care of them, whatever. Whereas I think women will tend to take the time for self more readily and also learn how to be self-sufficient. Because I have been caretakers for others. It's a matter of changing and perhaps taking that energy and pointing it toward yourself.
okay. All right. But
And I'm not being sexist. I'm sure there
I
are
accuse you of
many
that.
men out there too who are doing the same thing,
Such as
learning how to care for themselves.
like cooking for themselves.
Right,
and-
unless their mothers are still alive, and then they might be going to their mother's house for dinner and have her mother do the laundry.
We're talking 60-plus-year-old
Yeah.
people. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, so, all right, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble here.
Now you're already in trouble.
I'm always in trouble.
All right. So
Oh, so case in point here. Roughly half of women over 65 are without partners, compared with 21% of men.
well, I think this has a lot to do with
Men can't be alone.
no, I think it has to do with there are more women demographically, in the population. There are more women, slightly more,
Slightly, not to that degree.
and men die sooner than women.
Twice as many.
Men die sooner than women.
We're talking about 50% versus 21%.
Okay.
That's a huge percentage. Show me the statistics around 65 and older, but I don't think it's a direct one-for-one correlation.
No, probably
there.
not, but it's a contributing factor. All right. So if you're finding yourself single and you're 60 plus and you don't want to be single, you're in that 50% group that is looking.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So, they say you want to start a whole new life with someone. You've already lived a life, whatever. You might be set in your ways. It takes a big commitment, but it's hard, but not impossible. So here are some thought provokers that they mention. One is expect baggage. You can't be judgy about somebody's past.
Because you also have a past and you wouldn't
Right.
want them to be judgy about you.
Right.
Okay. I
Right.
mean, we're not talking
And
about
hopefully
like,
you've
well,
worked through some of that. If it's, things that have traumatized you to an extreme, that hopefully you've worked through those things.
we're not talking about
Um,
like you spent 25 years in federal prison or
no,
no,
I don't, no, I don't mean that.
no. Yeah, like emotional baggage and
Right.
things
Right.
that have, yeah.
Right. I mean, you
Okay.
have to expect something new and different,
We all
right?
have a
You have to
history.
kind of clean the slate a little bit.
Okay.
Get comfortable with online dating.
Mm,
It is a reality that this is the main way that a lot of people are finding new relationships.
which for people our age who may have been in a very long-term relationship, that's a brand new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's very different than anything that we would have done when we were in our, I'm making air quotes, our dating age.
Yeah, I don't really know what the equivalent would have been. Blind dates? I mean,
Mm,
what?
there is no equivalent.
There really
Yeah,
isn't.
I don't think so.
So it is new territory to navigate,
Hmm.
and for 60 plus, it can seem uncomfortable.
And I know there are dating sites just for older
Mm-hmm.
people. I know Silver Singles is one.
Mm.
I've never been on it.
Our time, I think.
Our Time. Yep,
Yeah.
that's another one. I was watching TV recently, and there were two kinds of commercials, and I forget what the first was, but the second was just dating sites, and there were dating sites that I'd never heard of.
Yeah, there's like a new one that people are talking about, Zoosk.
Zoosk.
No idea.
Okay, so
Know how it's different.
well, it's good because we're at Z, and that means that's the end of the names of all the
Where
dating
if
sites.
if you've used Zoosk and it hasn't worked out.
From A to Zoosk. If you're at Zoosk and it hasn't worked out, well, you're just out of luck.
No, you're not. No, don't give up. Be open to non-traditional relationships. And here's
What does that mean?
well, they use cohabitation as an example. Cohabitation rates among couples over 50 more than quadrupled from 2000 to 2020.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah. And they're actually saying that older couples are innovators because they're sort of changing the landscape of American families. So we did an episode on living apart together, LAT
Mhm.
relationships, if you recall.
I do.
That's a decision of having your own households, but you're still together in a committed relationship.
Hmm.
So you're seeing more and more of that occurring. Make sure you're on the same page about your children. That's a big thing, right?
Meaning what?
Well, because you have adult children that may be living on their own, but they may be also living at home. You have grandchildren. You have these families. Do you blend them? How do you navigate that? And you don't know how the children are going to feel.
No,
either.
you don't. You really don't. All right. So, other ways besides online dating,
Mm-hmm.
and this is from the Mayo Clinic, is make the effort to reach out. Get in touch with someone is as simple as a phone call, a text message, or a video visit. There are many ways to get in touch with people.
Mm-hmm.
And we did come across something that said, reach out to people in your past.
Go to your high school reunions.
And find all the girls that are like the wallflowers and ask them to dance. Go where people are. So attend events, church or community activities, look for classes and groups.
Mm-hmm.
A good thing about that is there's a common interest
Right,
already.
yeah. They also mentioned coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's a matter of striking up a conversation. You just never know.
That's a hard thing to do if
Can
you
be.
haven't been out there. It can be, yes.
But I think it's practice too. It's like the more you do it, and the more practiced you get, the more comfortable you'll be.
I mean, a lot of this is kind of common sense too, right?
Right.
Volunteer. There's all kinds of opportunities for people, if you're retired especially,
Right.
to volunteer.
There were actually more challenges. Plan how you want to deal with finances. Be honest about health issues and caregiving, and be open to the unexpected.
Ah,
That's my favorite.
is it?
Yeah. So, yeah, and it just mentions that, you may have had a certain type in your past, or you may have had a certain needs in your past that maybe the same type of person isn't what you need now. And so you should be open-minded
Reevaluate
to,
and
yeah,
be
get out of your
Cast a wider
patterns.
net.
Yeah. And they talk about making a list of must-haves, won't-haves, and deal breakers, and being clear about that, but then being open to what that might look like.
One of my daughters mentioned something about in dating. She said there are red flags and there are green flags. and then there are beige flags.
Hmm.
And I had never heard about beige flags. And it's things that,
Wouldn't they be yellow flags?
no, yellow is like caution.
Yeah,
This isn't caution. This is, oh, that's different, and
just a
I don't
flag.
care.
It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess you could have a yellow flag as well, but
Hmm.
now it's getting complicated because there's 4 things.
Well, are you going to worry about it? No, you're not going to worry about a beige flag.
No,
But red flag, that's a non-negotiable. I guess we should be clear about those.
yeah, and just be honest with yourself.
It's like we don't need to panic. Even though we're in an older set, take your time.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time.
Still plenty of time.
Mayo Clinic also suggests extend and accept invitations.
Never say no. I'm just a girl who can't say no.
2 songs.
I'm in a terrible fix.
What's that from?
Oh, it's an old song.
Is that like gonna wash
Like a
that girl right out of my
movie.
hair? Wash that man
Where's
right out
that
of my
girl
hair.
right?
Right out of my hair.
Well,
That's what that explains. That's
That shouldn't take you too long, Joe.
Thanks a lot, Janet. I'm deeply hurt. You should have seen me in my 20s with the
Oh my God,
massive...
you had so much hair. You had
did.
massive curls.
did. Yes.
Where did it all go?
Down the drain, on the pillow, in the hairbrush. There, all those places. That's where it went. Most of all, just be available, right?
Yeah. Get out there, be available. Don't get down on it. It's all about
If
just
someone asks you out for a cup of coffee, go
sharing your light.
go for a
and
cup
love
of coffee.
in the world.
Go for a cup of coffee. It's just a cup of coffee,
Yeah, do it.
right? Have we provided any help here at all?
I'm not
I feel
sure.
like those
I
finance
think it
shows, they
was
say
more about
this is for illustrative purpose.
perspective.
Only seek your own financial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We are not relationship experts.
No.
Let me tell you.
All right. So I think the idea is we said there's a lot of people out there looking for someone
Hmm.
to have a relationship with. There are all different kinds of relationships. It can be casual, it can be serious. There's a big upswing in, you call them gray divorces. I'll call them
Yeah.
gray marriages.
Right. And, it's the same rules apply. We talked about, all the people who are still married in their first marriages. And, what are the secrets to success? Communication, respect, trust.
Oh, you want to hear what seniorhelpers.com has to say about that?
Yeah.
All right, real quickly. Maintain communications, practice empathy, engage in activities together, remember physical affection. That's my favorite part, actually. Handle change together, and deal with disagreements lovingly.
I like those last two, handling change together,
Mhm.
because that's what happens, right? If you have to change, you want to be on the same team on that, working it out together. And what was the last one again?
Deal with disagreements lovingly.
Yes.
Don't forget that one.
Don't say things that you're going to regret.
Take a breath.
Can't take it back.
Take a breath.
Right.
And I think, I don't know, I think I have mellowed with age.
I think we all have.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
It's like fine wine.
Yes.
We're all like fine wine.
We are.
Are you a
good
red
cab.
or a white?
I'm a good cab.
Well, I think
Smooth and silky.
lots of tannin.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know what that means. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this episode of the 60 Plus podcast. I heard from a listener this week
Mm-hmm.
who said, Joe, I listened to the last episode about keeping your energy up. And he says, I'm going to do what you asked. And I said, what was that? He said, I'm going to pass it along to a couple of friends.
Oh, good.
So I think I'm going to do this every episode now.
Yeah.
If you like what you're hearing, if you think this is entertaining or informative or funny or just obnoxious, and pass it
Whatever.
pass it along.
Entertaining. Yeah.
Pass it along to a couple of friends.
And make sure you follow us and then also pass it along. And we'd love that.
And if you're on the Instagram, we're there. And we're on the no, we're not on the YouTube yet. That's coming.
That's coming. Maybe even TikTok.
Maybe TikTok.
Yeah.
But certainly Spotify and your favorite podcast players. And reach out to us at 60 plus podcast. That's all spelled out at gmail.com.
Yay.
All right. So until next week, this has been the 60 Plus podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Janet. Bye.